You saw a streamer do a sub-only stream one time and the backlash they got for doing it was insane. Why would there be backlash for that? All of the content you watch of people on here is free for you to watch. You literally are entertained for free. And subscribing or doing anything like that is by choice. No one has a gun to your head. That's crazy. I hope it probably did. I hope that person was not bullied into not doing them again, but that probably did happen. People are entitled. I think people are just used to what they're used to. And every time you do something different, there will always be some people that freak out. That's all. Twitch has a different expectation than YouTube has. Yeah, but it's nonsensical, right? The other thing is, you know, I'm not trying to victim blame, but I'm going to make a statement. If you make yourself seem bullyable and influenceable, malleable, because when people have backlash toward you for something, you bend the knee every time, then you're gonna keep dealing with a lot of it. Streamers as a whole will all deal with it the more streamers as a whole bend the knee over stupid shit, okay? Doesn't mean it's their fault that backlash exists, but, you know, it gets perpetuated for sure. I don't deal with a lot of this stuff because I don't take that stuff, you know? Or I don't react to certain things or whatever. That's all. And that's why it feels like sometimes it's not worth being a hard ass over a thing or whatever, but you need to set a precedent. This is why a lot of good leaders are people that seem like assholes because they are like so headstrong and they're just doing their thing, whatever. Because when it's you versus a mass of people, you have to be like that. Otherwise, if you bend a little, the ones that want to keep pushing will keep pushing, and it, you know, always turns into a bad situation. So unfortunately, you have to do it that way, right? So yeah, as a streamer, you just gotta not bend. Otherwise, you know, you'll deal with that all the time. Yeah, exactly. You said be accommodating, but don't compromise on integrity. Exactly. That's why sometimes, let's say you're me and you make a tweet that some people don't like. Instead of getting rid of it and apologizing, you add a follow-up to clarify and go, no, I still stand by what I said, but you know, here's what I specifically mean about that. For those that care to, you know what they meant, right? But if you post a tweet that people don't like, and you just delete it and say sorry when you're not objectively super wrong or anything, you're just doing it to react to them, then those people will never leave you alone. They will do it to you every time. You know what I mean? It gets worse. So, you know, so when you're me and you make a tweet that some people don't like, but you know you're not wrong, you don't delete it. You just say, okay, I get why you're upset. Here's what I specifically mean though. And here's, you know, my opinion. Also, this is an opinion, by the way, reminder, you know, like you just do that instead of, you know, looking like they won or something. Because that's the thing. They turn it into a whether they're winning or not kind of thing when it's not about that. So yeah, when you're like a streamer or you're any situation where you're one person and then you're up against a bunch of people, you just can't bend unless you're actually wrong. Unless you're actually are like mostly wrong and you're like, let me backtrack and redo that because I've realized that I'm wrong. Okay, but if you're not, don't do it. Give an inch and they'll take a mile. It's very true. It's very, very, very true. It always has been. People are like that. So they see it as weakness because what they're looking to do is they're looking to win against you. They don't care about the thing that they're arguing about as much as they care about just winning and feeling like they're right. So even though you're sitting there trying to defend like an opinion you posted or a thought you had or whatever it is, they're just trying to win. So they kind of don't care. So, you know what I mean? It's like sort of a lose-lose scenario. That's why as a creator, you just got to be annoying about it and just be like a hard ass sometimes, you know? Yeah, and what you said is really true. You said in every controversy, there's a group of people genuinely concerned and another group that just loves drama, smells blood in the water. Right. But they're all like in one massive blob of people, you know? So it's true. That's why like whenever someone gets like a hate train going for them, I'm like, you shouldn't immediately like become super defensive and like everyone who's disagreeing is an op, because there are going to be people who are just kindly disagreeing or just simply stating their different opinion, and that's okay. You know, like that is totally okay and fine. It's how they state it, and are they like also sending you death threats at the same time? You know, like are they disagreeing just to disagree, or are they disagreeing because they have something to say that is of value? You know, like it's a mixed bag. It's just a tough situation. Said, I'm being 100% honest. I sometimes wonder how many VTubers become popular specifically because they said or did something someone found controversial, and then the accused gains a ton of support overnight. This community does that thing that any young community does, where it has a big blob of people that are like wildly passionate and they're throwing their negative emotion at everything that they see. Someone does something they don't like, and everyone, I'll also say this right now, when someone says something that someone doesn't like, and it's just an opinion and it's not that big of a deal, there will always be a bunch of other creators that will post about it because they know when they post their differing opinion that goes with the masses, they will get a ton of likes. They will get people showing up to their streams. They will then therefore make more money, okay? There's a ton of them that do that. I continually unfollow people over this. Because something will happen, some controversy will happen, and it's not a big deal. It doesn't matter. But then, like, you know, VTuber B will sit there, VTuber C, they'll sit there and they'll post engagement bait about it. Like, the situation has nothing to do with them, but they'll be like, I just think it's disgusting that people think they can something, and they make like a multi-paragraph post and they get so many likes of people being like, thank you for saying this, queen, clap emojis or something like that, right? And I'm like, do you not realize that this person does this every time that there's anything being talked about ever? It's the grift, right? So I just unfollow. It gets so annoying. It's so tiring because I'm like, this person didn't sit there and formulate this thought on their own. They weren't sitting there going, you know what grinds my gears? You know, they were like, I see an opportunity here. That kind of stuff gets really annoying. And the other thing is, it's very telling because those people turn on you real quick. There will be people that are like, oh my God, you're so great, so amazing, you're so cool. And then you say one thing they don't like, and then they make a multi-paragraph post to get their cool Twitter engagement. And I'm like, oh, so you didn't care at all. You just are just gonna go with whatever gets you the most anything at any point in time, huh? Right? There's a lot of that. So I don't know. But I feel like every community that's a bit younger is like that. And then over time, people get tired of it and it evens out. It balances out. I think that's happening with VTubing, where, you know, there are big controversies, whatever still. But I think people have gotten a little desensitized and gotten tired of it. And there are more people going, can I just watch content now? You know, which is good. It shows people have gotten so tired of it that they're prioritizing what actually matters to them in their life, which is, I'm here to be entertained by entertainers, you know? So always a good thing to see. It just takes so long. Every community goes through it though. Every single one.